Hello everyone, I'm meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for your 2 p.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. Now we've got some good news for those of you who are looking to get to and from the Outer Banks, specifically the island of Ocracoke, as it is set to reopen. At least Highway 12 is set to reopen, coming up at 5 o'clock after being closed thanks to Hurricane Erin. Now, the Department of Transportation says the highway between the Pony Pens and the Northern Ferry Terminal on Ocracoke Island will once again allow vehicles starting at 5 p.m. today. The highway closed on Wednesday before Erin brushed by our coast. DOT crews then worked to first rebuild sand dunes and then remove the sand and water from the highway. Now, ferry service between Hatteras and Ocracoke will have an amended schedule tonight, followed by its regular summer schedule tomorrow. You can find that schedule on our website, WITN.com. Now, after a massive drug offload in Florida, the U.S. Coast Guard again is looking to ramp up efforts to combat the drug problem in our southern states. NBC's Julia Bagg has more.
This is a historic moment for the U.S. Coast Guard when it comes to offloading illicit drugs. Pallet by pallet, members of the U.S. Coast Guard unloaded packages of cocaine and marijuana with the help of a crane.
Today, we are witness to the largest drug offload in Coast Guard history. A total of 76,140 pounds of illegal narcotics. These men and women put themselves in harm's way time and again to stop the bad guys, apprehend the smugglers, and seize the drugs. This is grueling and dangerous work, and I am extremely proud of them.
The seizures include more than 61,000 pounds of cocaine and more than 15,000 pounds of marijuana, captured from the Eastern Pacific to the Caribbean, all in roughly the last 2 months.
Knowing that we're part of a team keeping the United States safe, keeping these drugs out of people's hands, stopping these organizations from moving them across our borders, you know, it is worth it.
Federal agents say the drugs often come from foreign terrorist organizations. These wrapped bundles will now be used in prosecution cases.
The 61,740 pounds of cocaine represent 23 million potentially lethal doses. That's enough to fatally overdose the entire population of the state of Florida.
And again, that was Julia Bagg reporting. We now want to turn our attention to your weather forecast, looking at, again, a little bit of gray out there today. We're starting to see more rain showers popping up on the eastern side of Highway 17. Ironically, of course, Belhaven's now starting to clear up. We checked in Belhaven last hour and cloud cover was looking pretty thick and even had the threat of rain mixed in. But now things are looking a little bit clearer, at least over our Belhaven camera, overlooking the Pongo River. As far as what we've got air temperature wise, most of us currently in the mid to upper 80s. A few of us are slowly starting to sneak into the low 90s. Certainly feels like we're in the low 90s when you factor in the humidity that is actually falling right now. 68-degree dew point in Greenville, lower than the 73-degree dew point we woke up to earlier today. Now, 88 degrees in Greenville feels like 91, but you can see we do still have some gray overhead. Here's a look at your current air temperatures throughout eastern North Carolina. Right now, it looks like Jacksonville is the lone spot that is showing a 90-degree reading. We've got 89 through Oriental, along with New Bern, 88 in Elizabeth City, Swan Quarter, Greenville, Kinston, and Kenansville, 87, and Rocky Mount, Goldsboro, Washington, and Edenton. We've got 86 in Williamston, 85 showing up in Hatteras, along with Ahoskie, 84 in Roanoke Rapids, 82 in Manio. Now, as far as your humidity goes, we are starting to see dew points come down. You'll note seeing more of the 60s, mid to upper 60s right now through Rocky Mount, Goldsboro, Kinston, Greenville, Washington, Williamston, Elizabeth City, and Ahoskie. That is encouraging. We knew today would be that transition day where we would get more of a northwesterly breeze, and that would help push that cooler and drier air into eastern North Carolina. And well, lo and behold, that's exactly what we've got going on in the mid to upper levels of the atmosphere. But right now, down at ground level, our winds very light, very, very light. In fact, you step outside and you might not even notice that those winds are even present. Now, we do have some rain showers again that are starting to kick off. Some right now stretching their way across Carteret County, down East Carteret County from Atlantic, stretching all the way back towards Newport. But that's not the only area of showers and downpours we've got our eyes on. We're also keeping an eye again on some of those showers and downpours stretching across Hyde County and into southern Dare County, mainland Dare County that is, but even some of those showers right now making their way over the northern Outer Banks, north of Rodanthe. So moving forward through the rest of today, more of these pop-up showers near the coast, really on the eastern side of Highway 17, will continue until we get really into tomorrow morning. It's a whole system that is, again, going to kind of linger. It's a frontal boundary that is going to be set up near our coastline as we head through tonight into tomorrow morning. But then as we head into the early hours of your Tuesday, we should see more of a push and get a lot of those rain showers out a little bit deeper into the Atlantic. Another area of low pressure will form off the coast of South Carolina, and that's only going to help pull some of that cooler and drier air into eastern North Carolina over the tail end of the week. Normally with these little bouts of drier and cooler air, they usually only last for about 3, maybe 4 days. But this week, going to last a little bit longer because of that low pressure system pulling, again, everything out into the Atlantic. Let's zoom the picture out and you can kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about. We've got an area of high pressure off to our really west and northwest. That's only going to encourage those northerly winds to hang around. Now that high may fade, but keep your eyes off the coast of South Carolina because that's where that next low pressure system is going to form. There it is. And then again, pulls a lot of that moisture and a lot of that air that right now is relatively humid compared to where we're going, out into the Atlantic and further away from eastern North Carolina. And that will allow, again, that cooler, drier air to roll in, making it feel spectacular, making it feel like September is already here. And not only September, but more like fall is already here. Now, I'm hesitant to completely buy into that. I do anticipate we'll probably get a couple pump fakes with more heat on the way as we head into September. But for now, the next 8 days are looking very comfortable thanks to this drier air. 83 degrees coming up for tomorrow, 80 on Wednesday. That's about 10 degrees cooler than where we are today. And your overnight lows dipping down into the upper 50s, very encouraging. Now again, some of you may call it a little bit of a fake fall. It will certainly feel that way, not just for Wednesday, but Thursday and Friday and even Saturday as well, as those overnight lows stay down in the low 60s. The lower your overnight lows are, the more comfortable the air will feel when you step outside. That's all we have time for today's 2 p.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. We'll be back with more news and weather coming up at the top of the hour. Until then, I hope you all have a wonderful day.